How many of you have ever clicked yes or accept without reading the terms and conditions on your phones? I know I have. Whether it's downloading a new app, signing up for a social media account, or using an AI tool. We all click that button without a second thought. It feels harmless, doesn't it? But what if pressing that button meant granting a stranger the right to track your every move, to listen in to your private conversations, or to even predict your deepest thoughts? The reality is, every time we click accept without considering the consequences, we might be considering rights that people have fought and died to protect. Every time we share something online, we are shaping the future of free speech. And every time we disregard privacy settings, we undermine the protections that previous generations have worked to preserve. Here's the truth. When we enter the digital world, we do not, and we must not, forfeit our constitutional rights. The Constitution allows us to post, share, and engage on social media. But today, its opaque algorithms, not public discourse, decides which voices are heard and which are silenced. Social media companies collect more data on us than any government agency ever could. We are not just users. We are data points constantly being tracked and analyzed and under constant surveillance. A 2022 report from the Annenberg Public Policy Center found that only 47% of American adults can name all three branches of American government. And among younger people, the statistics are even more alarming. A 2022 report from the National Assessment of Educational Progress found that only 22% of 8th graders were proficient in civics. This means that less than 1 in 4 teenagers fully understand the principles of American democracy. Now let's contrast this with social media. According to a Pew Research Center study, 95% of teens use YouTube, 67% use TikTok, and 62% use Instagram, spending an average of 7.5 hours a day on their screens. We are raising a generation of digital natives who are incredibly adept at navigating social platforms, yet most are disconnected from the very principles that guarantee those digital freedoms. As Thomas Jefferson warned, quote, "If a nation expects to be ignorant and free, then it expects what never was and never will be," end quote. And this ignorance has consequences. Take, for example, the tragic case of Molly Russell, a 14-year-old girl who died by suicide after being subjected to harmful, algorithm-driven content online. These algorithms that prioritize engagement over well-being led Molly down a dangerous path. If we truly believe in democracy, if we truly believe in the sanctity of individual freedom and informed choice, then we must ask ourselves, how free are we when unseen forces manipulate our privacy? A 2023 report from the Pew Research Center study found that 81% of teens feel that they have little to no control over the data that companies collect about them. Yet we keep clicking accept. Why? Because it's easy. Because we want the latest app or the chance to make the next viral video. In our quest for likes, we often fail to understand the long-term consequences. We stand at a critical juncture where the principles embedded in our U.S. Constitution collide with the boundless and sometimes uncontrollable world of social media and digital tools. But can laws written in parchment and ink 2 centuries ago still protect us in an age of algorithms and artificial intelligence? The answer is unequivocally yes. The Founding Fathers sat in a sweltering room in Philadelphia in 1787 to draft a document that would not only outlast their lifetimes, but define the future of a young nation. The founders may not have been able to foresee the internet, but they understood one universal truth. Threats to liberty remain constant, even as their forms evolve. Our U.S. Constitution is not an artifact of history. It is a living, breathing document that guides us through our current challenges. As Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg once said, quote, "The Constitution is a work in progress. It is up to each generation to create a more perfect union," end quote. And the brilliance of our Constitution lies in its adaptability. It is designed to evolve, to meet new challenges head-on. In 1803, Marbury versus Madison established judicial review, allowing the Supreme Court to interpret the Constitution in the face of new issues, from civil rights to cyber rights. Today, I would like to talk about 3 amendments that provide the framework for addressing the issues of our privacy and our constitutional rights and freedoms online. First is the First Amendment, which protects our freedom of speech. It was originally meant to protect our speech in newspapers, pamphlets, and public debates. Today, it protects our speech in online platforms. In Packingham versus North Carolina, the Supreme Court ruled that social media platforms have become the modern public square, ensuring that our speech online is protected just as much as our speech in a newspaper or in a protest march. However, unlike traditional town squares, social media platforms are privately owned. This creates a conflict. While the government cannot censor our speech, big tech companies such as Facebook, Twitter or X, and YouTube can set their own rules. Our First Amendment doesn't just protect our mere right to speak. It protects our right to think, explore, and express without fear of surveillance. But when social media companies track our every click, when algorithms analyze every interaction, and our digital footprint is stored indefinitely, we lose not just our right to privacy, but our freedom to think boldly and to speak freely. Second is the Fourth Amendment, which protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. It was originally meant to protect the government from entering our homes or searching through our personal property without a warrant. Today, it protects digital data, text messages, emails, phones, and location tracking. In Riley versus California, the Supreme Court ruled that police need a search warrant in order to go through our smartphones. Why? Because our smartphones hold so much personal information about us, it is like a mini library of our lives, ensuring that our digital privacy is protected just as much as our physical privacy. Today, there are ongoing debates about our privacy with surveillance, facial recognition technology, and data collection from big tech companies. Consider the Cambridge Analytica scandal, where 87 million Facebook users' data was harvested and sold without their consent. And it gets worse. Today, apps both foreign and domestic collect data on us, not just about our dance moves, but about our locations, behaviors, preferences, and even our facial expressions. The data they collect on us allows them to know when we wake up, where we live and where we work, and even what we buy. Our Fourth Amendment was meant to protect us from government intrusion, but today, we need protection from corporate surveillance. We must ensure that surveillance is not the price that we have to pay for participation in digital life. Third is the 14th Amendment, perhaps the most profound promise our Constitution makes to us: equal protection under the law. But when we're on social media, algorithms decide what content we see, who we hear, and how we're heard. Think about that. Our constitutional right to equal protection now not just depends on human decisions, but on artificial intelligence. We must make sure that algorithms do not reinforce bias and create digital discrimination. In 1787, when Benjamin Franklin emerged from the Constitutional Convention, a woman asked him, "What have we got, a republic or a monarchy?" And Franklin's reply was, "A republic if you can keep it." Today, keeping it in the digital age means ensuring that our rights hold the same values that our Constitution held 2 centuries ago. So what do? We must understand our rights. We must demand transparency from companies that are collecting our data. And we must make sure that we, the people, remain stronger than we, the platform. Now let's return to that accept button. The next time before clicking accept, shouldn't we make sure that companies accept their responsibility to protect our privacy? So the next time before clicking that button, we must remain informed, vigilant, and proactive about safeguarding our rights, because our Constitution is only as strong as our willingness to understand, protect, and defend it.